Welcome to another episode of the Bug Bite, hosted by your shitty tech coach, Ralph, where we're Engineer Twin. In this episode of the Bug Bite, we're going to go way back. We're going to go back to the I love you bug, the I love you worm. It was back in around the 2000s, a bug that happened where it affected so many different computers. So although it's called the I love you worm, there wasn't much love involved associated with it. We're going to review that today. But before we do that, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live and drop new content, as well as go to techcoachralph.dev. You can sign up for free. There's tons and tons of exclusive content, always adding new content all the time. We have my sprint reviews that I do with the Tech Barbarians. We have the full Scrum Night. We have exclusive videos on how to use Glassdoor, how to use LinkedIn, how to use AI effectively so you can enhance your job search and your preparation skills. And you can even sign up for one-on-one coaching where you can work with me. We can run it up together. I can help you in. All right. With that being said, let's jump into our show today, the Bug Bite, about the I love you worm. So we're going to watch this quick little video to give us some insight on what this was about, and then we will read an article that is that's talking about it. Right? Let's get to it.
New dangers tonight from the love bug computer virus, this time disguised as a friendlier email. Copycats have now spread around the world. Bill Graffin joins us live. Bill.
David, this is far from a childhood prank anymore. Experts say that the I love you virus could end up costing the world economy $10 billion in lost work time.
As the I love you mess gets cleaned up, there's more cyber chaos spreading in the form of these titles. This is a great new game, very funny, even Mother's Day gifts. They're no gifts. They're computer bugs that can ruin certain programs in your files.
All somebody has to do is grab that file that's there and modify it slightly to change the subject line, to change any part of that file, and therefore it looks like a completely different virus or worm.
This is the start page again.
That's keeping internet service providers busy, like Voyager.net in New Berlin. They have to keep their computers updated with all the new virus titles.
Those have been updated with the new subject headers. So we're blocking those messages before they come in so that they can't be passed on to the end user.
The FBI does have some leads in the case, but is cautiously checking out reports that the I love you author may be from the Philippines.
Now, the FBI can trace the original love bug program to a certain computer, but proving who sent that program over the internet can be difficult. Passwords can be stolen, and fake accounts can be set up. David?
Sounds like it may take a while for this one to die down a little bit.
All right, so that was the news about the I love you worm that was reported back then. You can see how old that video is. Let's jump into the actual details of the I love you worm, the virus that loved everyone. If that was love, I would hate to see what it is if you did not love me. All right, let's jump into this article. So this is brought to us by Kaspersky. And this is in their cybersecurity division. It says, all right, so I love you, the virus that loved everyone. We recall the story of the I love you worm, one of the most infamous viruses from 22 years ago. So this was 22 years ago, written August 8th, 2022. So this is now it's 24 years ago, right? Let's read on. So let's take a trip down memory lane to May 2000. Okay, so it was in 2000, right? Just another day at the office. You turn on your computer, connect to the internet, and download the latest emails in the Microsoft Outlook client. Immediately, you immediately notice a strange message with the subject line, I love you, no spaces, just I love you. A person you know confesses their love to you. Oh, that's so sweet. Maybe it's a childhood friend, maybe not. Wait, no, even better, your older supervisor. Okay, this is getting weird. All right. All right. So whoever it is, it's definitely eye-catching. So you click the attached file called loveletterforyou.txt.vbs. That should already tell you that something's wrong when it's like .txt.vbs. But I mean, back in the days, back in 2000, there wasn't this kind of cybersecurity. So you probably wouldn't know. Right? It says, and nothing seemed to happen. However, sometime later, you discover that important documents on your hard disk have been irreparably corrupted, and a bunch of similar love letters have been sent out on your behalf to all the contacts in your address book. Oof, scary. And I remember I'd be getting random emails, and not back in 2000, but through the years, I'd be getting like random emails from people that I know, but you could definitely tell that it was some type of spam, some type of worm. Something was, they were affected by something, right? I Love You was not the first malware to exploit a hole in Microsoft's emails client, but it certainly initiated one of the most serious virus outbreaks at the beginning of the new millennium. Let's look back at its history and talk about how it changed our perception of computer system security, right? So pretty much, so .vbs is a Visual Basic Script, right? So by the name being .txt, you would think it's a text file, but the .vbs, like the last part of the extension, is what's important, right? So .vbs means it's a Visual Basic Script. So that is going to be running some type of script on your computer. This is how it looks. Subject: I love you. Kindly check the attached love letter coming from me, and it would probably be like whoever they're spoofing that is coming from and who it's sending it to. And then this would be the file that you download. This is like such an old Outlook client, right? All right, so context. The internet is the trendiest technology. The year 2000, that was a long time ago from 2022 and from 2024. It seemed like prehistoric times. Today, you can look at archived copies of websites from those days or take an old Windows 98 laptop out of the closet to remember what programs we used. It's like the Stone Age, wasn't it? Well, not really. Of course, the technology at the turn of the millennium was primitive by today's standards. The vast majority of users connected to the internet by modem. Yeah, I remember I was connecting to them via a modem, 56K modem for a while, because where I lived, we did not have DSL or cable internet. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. Like our internet was so slow. Everyone else was going so fast. It says, and it was monstrously slow. Yep. But prototypes of almost all modern network services already existed back then. There was no video streaming, but there was radio streaming. There was a wide range of online messengers. There was I forgot the name of the other one, but I know there was AOL Instant Messenger, CompuServe, which was bought by AOL later on. They had their own version of Instant Messenger. We used so many different things. And then I think like back in I'm going to go back in the days, right? But we had like the Black Planet web app where it was kind of like Facebook before Facebook, and they had like Mahente, they had and Black Planet was even before MySpace, and then they had like this messenger thing where you can like interact with people and stuff like that. Let's not go back. Let's not go down that route. Anyways, it says, let's see. Internet commerce was developing at breakneck speed, though it was often easier to call a store by phone rather than place an order on a website. Generally, in 2000, any network technology or any service with the prefix E-, that is electronic, received lots of attention and investment. There was some disappointment a bit later in 2001 when many internet startups went bankrupt and the industry lost a little hype but gained a little more sense. I remember like around that time too, that's when eBay was like getting big. It was like at the time eBay was just like, you can just bid on stuff and then you kind of hope they'll send it to you. But then soon, like shortly after, they started adding like eBay sellers and so this is like, if we're talking about 2000, that's probably around the time that eBay was only auctions, right? But then by like 2002, 2003, you had the eBay sellers and you could pretty much buy anything on eBay. I was like a big eBay buyer. I showed the other day on a live stream where a car that a friend and I sold on eBay probably in like 2006, 2007. We were buying all the parts to hook that car up via eBay in about like 2003, 2004-ish. We were doing all that work. So that shows how far back the technology has come, right? All right, so let's see. All right, there was some disappointment a bit later in 2001 when many internet startups went bankrupt and the industry lost a little hype but gained a little more sense. An important indicator of how widespread the internet already was back then is in 1998 release of the popular movie You've Got Mail. Half rom-com and half commercial for the then giant America Online. Remember America Online? For our story, it is important that at the end of the 1990s, the internet was no longer a place for the privileged. In 2000, hundreds of millions of people were already going online. As such, email was already an important tool for communication and collaboration in many companies and government agencies, as well as for ordinary home users. So I want to say Hotmail was out back then. I remember I want to say Hotmail might have been my first email address. I won't say that for sure. But there was like Yahoo Messenger as well, but that was more like 2002-ish. about maybe 2004. I don't know. But Yahoo Messenger was a big thing for a while. Let's see. All right. But in May of 2000, the digital transformation, as it became popular to call it much later, was suddenly halted by the I Love You virus outbreak. Many companies were forced to temporarily shut down their mail servers, which were simply unable to cope with the flow of tens of thousands of I love you messages. That's so sweet. All right. Predecessors, Concept B and Melissa. Strictly speaking, I Love You should have been classified as a network worm. It is a malicious program that spreads itself over the network. Another key feature of I Love You was that the initial infection was made with a simple Visual Basic script, VB script. VB script in turn is built on even older ideas of macros. Essentially, simple programs that allow you to automate particular actions. For example, when working with documents. I've used VB script for a bit, not super crazy, but I have used it in the past. Most often, macros are used to perform complex calculations in spreadsheets such as Microsoft Excel. Since ancient times, macros have also been supported in Microsoft Word, for example, to automatically generate reports from data entered in a form. In 1995, this Word functionality was exploited by the WM Concept A virus. This macro virus infected Microsoft Word documents and displayed this message when the document was opened. So it'd say Microsoft and then 1. And that's all. So, and they're making something very basic. They're making this very basic, and you click OK just so they can start testing it out, right? So there was no malicious functionality as such, just a rather annoying window that kept popping up. Former Microsoft employee Steven Sinofsky, who was responsible for the development of the company's Office solutions from 1998 to 2006, refers to the Concept A in his memoirs as the first signal. At that point, it became clear that automation implemented in all Microsoft solutions could be used to its detriment. As a result, it was decided to display a warning before running macros. The document contains a program. Are you sure you want to run it? As soon as Microsoft began implementing restrictions on running macros, malware authors began to look for ways to circumvent these restrictions. The next high-profile event occurred in March of 1999. Steven Sinofsky described what it was like when you check your email. You get a message with an attached file and the important message from subject line. So you look like this important message from Florian Fernwet. Here's the document you asked for. Don't show it to anyone else. And then it has here and and then another one from another sender and another, and then email stopped working. Even Microsoft's email server couldn't take the load. It was the Melissa Internet Worm. The attached Microsoft Word document contained malicious code that sent a message through Microsoft Outlook to the first 50 contacts in the address book, right? So now we get into it's all about love. The I Love You Worm was an evolution of the ideas used in Melissa. It did not exploit any vulnerability in the Microsoft products, but instead used standard functionality. The only bug was that no warning was displayed when the script was launched from the Outlook email client. The worm's functionality was not limited to sending love messages to all recipients. In addition, the email spam sent on behalf of the victim was also capable of spreading via the then popular IRC messenger. Yep, IRC messenger. Let's see. So what's more, the worm downloaded a Trojan program that sent passwords for mail and internet access to the malware's creator. Finally, it deleted, hid, or corrupted files on the hard drive, music in MP3 format, JPEGs, and a variety of scripts and copies of web pages. Right. So it was like doing three things at one time. Right. So the worm downloaded Trojan programs, as I said, and then sent the passwords for mail and internet access to the malware's creator. So that's two different things, right? Where it is spreading via the IRC messenger. It's downloading the Trojan program that sends the passwords for mail and internet access, and then it's deleting or hiding the corrupted files on the hard drive, music files, JPEGs, things like that, right? The mastermind behind the I Love You outbreak incorporated developments from previous macro viruses, came up with an ultimate social engineering trick. How can anyone ignore a file with the name I love you? I mean, that's a red flag for me. As soon as someone tells me I love you via email, I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, what's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. All right. So following Kaspersky and media reports from the time, it is possible to reconstruct the sequence of events. Already on the first day, May 4th, thousands of systems infections were detected. On May 9th, 2.5 million infected computers were reported, meaning there were tens of millions of emails sent around the world. The virus's creator did not even try to hide the malicious code under the guise of an Office document. The file name loveletterforyou.txt.vbs exploited the fact that Microsoft Mail clients only showed the first part of the long name, as can be seen in the screenshot at the beginning of the article. I mean, people are just looking for love, right? People are just looking for love, all right? What's your flavor of love, I guess, right? All right, so the code inside was in open format, and soon many skilled malefactors were using it to create different variations of the internet worm. Instead of "I love you," other words began to appear in the subject line, including cocky virus warnings. The new love variant detected on May 19th did not selectively delete files, but completely wiped out all information on the hard drive. Jesus. Final estimates of the impact of the "I love you" virus are as follows. Up to 10% of internet-connected computers were infected, and the total damage, including the destructive actions of its variants, is estimated at about $10 billion. Good Lord, that's a lot of money, right? The incident was widely covered by the press and were even hearings in the U.S. Senate. So mistakes were made, apparently. In 2022, knowing the whole story from the beginning to end, one would like to ask, could the outbreak of such trivial virus have been prevented straight away? It wasn't until June 8th of 2000 that Microsoft released a major security update for the Outlook email client, which finally introduced serious restrictions on running scripts. All email attachments were untrusted by default, and checks were introduced if the external application accessed the Outlook address or tried to send multiple emails at once. So here's an example. An external application is trying to access email addresses you have stored in Outlook. Do you want to allow this? So you'd have to say no. Some people don't even read this stuff. They just click yes anyways, right? And it says an application is trying to automatically send emails on your behalf. Do you want to allow this? They didn't do it earlier because when choosing between security and convenience, Microsoft preferred for the latter. I mean, makes sense. And so did the users. Back in 1995, when Microsoft introduced a simple warning in Microsoft Word, this document contains macros, the company received negative feedback from the customers. And people don't understand for their own good, right? People don't understand what's good for them. And now it led to all this chaos eventually because you didn't want to click an extra button, right? In some companies, this additional acknowledgement broke down internal processes built on scripts. For that reason, even when developing a patch in the wake of "I love you," the question of "is this going to break something for users" was on the agenda. But this time, it was already clear that the security needed to improve, and quickly. So, old virus, modern problems. The "I love you" epidemic has raised many questions that are still relevant today in the field of information security. The most important one seems to be, can't we send out patches any faster? There were definitely problems with this. Microsoft released a patch kit for Outlook over a month after the outbreak started. Also, the automatic delivery mechanisms for these updates were rudimentary. So local outbreaks of mail infection took a long time to cease. It says the security solutions industry has already shown itself to be quite beneficial in this sense. As Eugene Kaspersky recalls, it wasn't difficult to protect the company's antivirus users. Even then, an online delivery system for regular updates was introduced in security software, while it took many more years for developers of other kinds of programs to implement a similar scheme for rapid patch distribution. A little later, heuristic analysis methods were developed to detect and block even unknown malicious scripts automatically. So, all right, let's keep going. So, Although the security of popular programs and operating systems has improved enormously over the past 24 years now, malware creators keep finding new loopholes for successful cyber attacks. That's a fact. It's always going to be a cops and robbers game because as we find ways to patch these things up, how to stop them, these cybersecurity nefarious actors are always looking to innovate, but they do keep us on our P's and Q's. They do keep us on our P's and Q's for us to continue to innovate, to continue to get better every single day, all right? And we have to, all right? So let's see. Where are we now? All right, so Malicious macros have not gone anywhere either. In February of 2022, Microsoft promised to finally restrict the ability to distribute them by banning the execution of any scripts and Office documents contained over the internet. In early July 2022, this ban was lifted. It's reasonable to assume that the fears that something gets broken at the user's end came true. Later that same July, Microsoft once again decided to start blocking macros by default, this time explaining to those in need how to get around the ban. There are fewer large-scale outbreaks where a piece of malware spreads to tens of or hundreds of millions of computers, but we still can't completely prevent them. What has definitely changed is the way that cyber attacks are monetized, taking companies and users' data hostage and demanding ransom. I mean, now it's not just deleting everything. It's just like, all right, we're going to lock down your computer, and if you want to get your data back, you're going to have to pay $1 million, right? Shout out to Austin Powers and Dr. Evil. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's finish our story with a brief summary of the fate of the I Love You Internet Worms creator. Onel de Guzman was a 24-year-old student at the time of the outbreak in 2000. FBI officials were able to determine that the original messages containing the worm had been sent to the popular mailing list of users from the Philippines, where de Guzman still lives. In 2000, he was put on the list of I Love You's suspected actors, but he was not punished for two reasons: a lack of evidence and the absence of criminal article for cybercrime in local law at the time. In 2020, de Guzman was tracked down by journalists. He told them that I Love You did not originally have a mass mailing function for the Outlook address book, and that he created the worm to steal passwords for internet access because he couldn't afford to pay for it. De Guzman never managed to monetize his malicious talent. At the time the article was published in 2022, he was working in a modest phone repair shop in Manila. Man, when you fall big. Nowadays, if he was to go after this type of action, he would be rolling in the money, but he would also be being tracked down like a dog. He would be tracked down like a dog, all right? But that wraps that up. There we go. There we have it. Let's go back to full screen. And that's our story for today. That is our story for today of the I Love You worm and how that started infecting computers. It was like a domino effect, right? When you hit one domino down and a bunch of other things, and now today we're dealing with these massive data breaches. You can say that this was kind of initiated by like the I Love You worm made it big. You know, people open emails because they're in their feelings and like, oh my God, they said they love me, and then you open it and then you find out that it was actually just pure hatred at the end of the day, right? But with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for rocking with me for this episode of The Bug Bite. Hopefully you were informed. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully you leave here with something valuable. But we're gonna get out of here. Do me a big favor on your way out. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time they go live and drop new content, as well as go to techcoachrap.dev. Sign up today, sign up for free, sign up for the Patreon. There is tons and tons of exclusive content. I'm going to be going live in November. We're going to be updating our resume, or my resume. And if you have, and I'll do it live, so if you have any questions, you can call in. It's going to be in the Patreon. We have exclusive content, how to use Glassdoor, how to use LinkedIn, how to use AI to help your tech journey. And you can sign up for one-on-one coaching. There's different tiers. We can work together. Get a consultation. We can work together, and I can help you get to the next level. Get you prepared for the courses that you need, for the training that you need, work on some real projects so that you can get all the necessary experience, so that once you get into that interview and you get to that company, you are good to go, you're comfortable, you're ready to rock and roll, right? That's techcoachrap.dev. Sign up today, sign up for free, and we can run it up together, right? With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of The Bug Bite. We are out.
A glitch, what's the fix this time? Chasing down bugs, oh it feels like a crime. Every software tale, got a story to tell. In the world of tech, it's a digital swell. Watch us dive deep in lines of code, finding the truth on this heavy road. Welcome to the Bug Bite, we unveil the fight. In a world of software, we'll shine the light. From errors to dangers, we'll guide your way. Stay tuned for the scoop every single day. the spotlight, we unveil the fight. In a world of software, we'll shine the light. From errors to dangers, we'll guide your way. Stay tuned for the scoop every single day. Hit and subscribe, don't miss out the fun. Together we'll conquer one bug at a run. Stay tuned for the scoop every single day. So hit that subscribe, don't miss out the fun. Together we'll conquer one bug